Woe to the haughty crown of Ephraim's drunks, to the fading flower of its proud splendor, located at the head of the rich valley belonging to the people overcome by wine. Adonai has something strong and powerful. He comes like a hailstorm, a destructive tempest, like a flood of water rushing, overwhelming. With his hand he hurls them to the ground. The haughty crown of Ephraim's drunk is trampled underfoot, and the fading flower of its proud splendor, located at the head of the rich valley, is like the first ripe fig of summer. Whoever sees it picks it and eats it. On that day, Adonai Svaot will be a glorious crown, a brilliant diadem. From the remnant of his people, he will also be a spirit of justice for whoever sits as a judge, and a source of strength for those repelling enemy attacks at the gate. But there are others reeling from wine, staggering about because of strong liquor. Kohen and prophet reel from the strong liquor. They are confused by wine, led astray by strong liquor. They err in their visions and stumble when judging. All tables are covered with vomit and feces. Not a single place is clean. Can no one be taught anything? Can no one understand the message? Must one teach barely? Weaned toddlers, babies just taken from the breast, so that one has to use nursery rhymes? Zav la zav, za la zav, kav la kav, ka lav kav, zir sham, precept by precept, precept by precept, line by line, line by line, a little here, a little there. So with stammering lips in a foreign accent, Adonai will speak to this people. He once told this people, "It's time to rest. The exalted can rest. Now you can relax." But they wouldn't listen. Now the word of Adonai for them comes precept by precept, precept by precept, line by line, line by line, a little here, a little there, so that when they walk, they stumble backwards and are broken, trapped, and captured. So listen to the word of Adonai, you scoffers, composing taunts for this people in Jerusalem, because you said, "We made a covenant with death. We made a contract with Sheol. When the raging flood passes through, it will not touch us. For we have made lies our refuge and hide ourselves in falsehoods." Therefore, here is what Adonai Elohim says. "Look, I am laying in Zion a tested stone, a costly cornerstone, a firm foundation stone. He who trusts will not rush here and there. I will make justice the plumb line and righteousness the plumb bob. Hail will sweep away the refuge of lies. Water will overflow the hiding place. Your covenant with death will be annulled. Your contract with Sheol will not stand. When the raging flood passes through, you will be trampled down by it. As often as it passes through, it will take you. For it will pass through every morning, day after day, night after night. Understanding the message will be sheer terror. For as the saying goes, the bed is too short for the person to stretch, and the blanket too narrow for to protect him from cold. Even if he crams himself in, for Adonai will arise as at Mount Pretzim, and storm with rage as in the Givon Valley. So he can do his deed, his strange deed, and perform his task, his alien task. Therefore now stop your scoffing, and your bonds will be further tightened. For I have heard from Adonai Elohim Svaot that destruction is decreed for the whole land. Listen and hear my voice. Pay attention and hear what I say. Does a farmer sowing keep plowing forever? Does he never stop breaking up and harrowing his land? No. When he finishes leveling it, he scatters his dill seed, sows his cumin, puts wheat in rows, barley where it belongs, and plants buckwheat around the edges, because his God taught him this, has given him instruction. Dill must not be threshed with a sledge or cartwheels driven over cumin. Rather, dill one beats with a stick, and cumin with a flail. When crushing grain for bread, one doesn't thresh it forever. One drives the horse and cartwheels over it, but doesn't crush it to powder. This too comes from Adonai Svaot. His counsel is wonderful, his wisdom great. Woe to Ariel, fireplace on God's altar, Lion of God. Ariel, the city where David encamped. Celebrate the feast for a few more years. But when I bring trouble to Ariel, there will be mourning and moaning, as she becomes truly an Ariel for me. I will encamp all around you, besiege you with towers, and mount siege works against you. Prostrate, you will speak from the ground. Your word will be stifled by the dust. Your voice will sound like a ghost in the ground, your words like squeaks in the dust. But your many foes will become like fine powder, a horde of tyrants like blowing chaff, and it will happen very suddenly. You will be visited by Adonai Svaot with thunder, earthquakes, and loud noises, whirlwinds, tempests, and flaming firestorms. Then all the nations fighting Ariel, every one at war with her, the ramparts around her, the people that trouble her will fade like a dream, like a vision in the night. It will be like a hungry man dreaming he's eating, and when he wakes up, his stomach is empty, or like a thirsty man dreaming he's drinking, but when he wakes up, he is dry and exhausted. It will be like this for a horde of all nations fighting against Mount Zion. If you make yourself stupid, you will stay stupid. If you blind yourselves, you will stay blind. If you are drunk, but not from wine. You are staggering, but not from strong liquor. For Adonai has poured over you a spirit of lethargy. He has closed your eyes, that is, the prophets, and covered your heads, that is, the seers. For this whole prophetic vision has become like the message in a sealed up scroll. When one gives it to someone who can read and says, "Please read this," he answers, "I can't, because it's sealed." If the scroll is given to someone who can't read with the request, "Please read this," he says, I can't read." Then Adonai said, "Because these people approach me with empty words, and the honor they bestow on me as mere lip service, while in fact they have distanced their hearts from me, and their fear of me is just a mitzvot of human origin, therefore I will have to keep shocking this people with astounding and amazing things until the wisdom of their wise ones vanishes, and the discernment of their discerning ones is hidden away. Woe to those who bury down deep to hide their plans from Adonai. They work in the dark and say to themselves, nobody sees us, nobody knows us. How you turn things upside down. Is the potter not better than the clay? Does something made say of its maker, he didn't make me? Does the product say to its producer, he has no discernment? In but a little while the Lebanon will be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field regarded as a forest. On the day the deaf will hear the words of the book, and out of gloom the darkness the eyes of the blind will see. The humble will again rejoice in Adonai, and the poor exult in the Holy One of Israel. For the tyrant is now nothing, the scoffer is finished, and all alert to do evil are cut off. Those whose words make a man out to be a sinner, those who set traps for the arbiter at the city gate, and those who are groundlessly deny justice to the one in the right. Therefore, here are the words of Adonai, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Yaakov. Yaakov will no longer be ashamed, no longer will his face grow pale. When his descendants see the work of my hands among them, they will consecrate my name. Yes, they will consecrate the Holy One of Yaakov and stand in awe of the God of Israel. Those whose spirits stray will come to understand, and those who complain will learn their lesson. Woe to the rebellious children, says Adonai. They make plans, but the plans are not mine. They develop alliances, but not from my spirit, in order to pile sin upon sin. They go down to Egypt, but don't consult me, seeking refuge in Pharaoh's protection, seeking shelter in Egypt's shadow. But Pharaoh's protection will bring you shame. Shelter in Egypt's shadow will lead to disgrace. Though his princes are at Zoan and his envoys have reached Hanes, they are all disappointed with a people that doesn't help them, who give no assistance and no advantage, only disappointment and disgrace. A prophecy about the animals in the Negev. In the land of trouble and anguish, a lioness and roaring lions, of vipers and poisonous flying serpents, they carry their riches on donkeys' backs and their treasures on camels' humps, to the people who will not help them. For Egypt's help is worthless and pointless, so I call her arrogant, doing nothing. No, now go, inscribe it on a tablet, write it for them on a scroll, so that on the final day it will be a witness forever and ever. For this is a rebellious people. They are lying children, children who refuse to hear the Torah of Adonai. They say to the seers, do not see. To those who have visions, do not tell us the visions they really are, but flatter us, fabricate illusions. Get out of the way, leave the path, rid us of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore, here is what the Holy One of Israel says. Because you reject the word, trust in exhortation, and rely on deceit, this sin will become of you a crack bulging out high on the wall, showing signs it is ready to fall. Then suddenly, all at once, it breaks. You will break it like a clay pot, ruthlessly shattering it into pieces, so tiny not even a potsherd remains. For taking fire from the fireplace or scooping water from the cistern. For this is what Adonai Elohim, the Holy One of Israel, says. Returning and resting is what will save you. Calmness and confidence will make you strong, but you will want none of this. No, you say, we will flee on horseback. Therefore you will surely flee. And when you ride on soft ones, so your pursuers will be swift. 1,000 will flee at the threat of one. You all will flee at the threat of 5, until you are left isolated, like a flagstaff on a mountaintop, like a banner on a hill. Yet Adonai, just waiting to show you favor, he will have pity on you from on high, for Adonai is a God of justice. Happy are those who wait on him. People in Zion, you live in Jerusalem, you will weep no more. The sound of your cry, he will show you his grace. On hearing it, he will answer you. Though Adonai may give you bread and water, and not very much of that, your teacher will no longer hide himself, but with your own eyes you will see your teacher. With your ears you will hear a word from behind you. This is the way, stay on it, whether you go to the right or to the left. You will treat as unclean your silver-covered idols and your cast metal images plated with gold. You will throw them away like minstrel cloths. You will say to them, get out of here. Then he will give you rain for the seed, and you will sow your land, and the food that comes from the ground will be rich and abundant. When that day comes, your cattle will graze in spacious pastures. The oxen and donkey that work the land will eat tasty mixture, winnowed, free of chaff, spread by pitchfork and shovel. On every high mountain and lofty hill will be streams of flowing brooks on a day great slaughter, when the towers fall. Moreover, the light of the moon will be as bright as the light of the sun. And the light of the sun will be 7 times stronger than the light of 7 days in one. On the day Adonai binds up the wounds of his people and heals the bruise caused by the bow. Here comes the name of Adonai from afar, his anger burning in thick rising smoke. His lips are full to the brim with fury, his tongue a consuming fire. His breath is like a racing torrent that rises up to the neck, to stiff the nations with the sieve of destruction, and put a bridle in the people's mouth to lead them astray. Your song will be like one that is sung on a night where the holy feast is kept, and your hearts will be happy as if walking to the sound of a flute to the mountain of Adonai, to the rock of Israel. Adonai will make his glorious voice heard, and he will reveal his strong descending with furious anger in the flaming firestorm, with cloudbursts, tempests, and hailstones. For Adonai's voice will terrify Ashur, as with his scepter he strikes them down. Every sweep and the punishing rod for Adonai imposes on him will be a tambourines and lyres, as he brandishes his arm against them in battle. For the Tophet fire pit has long been ready, prepared for the king, made large and deep, with plenty of wood and blazing with fire, like a stream of sulfur. Adonai's breath sets it aflame.